So friends, I'm on to the questions related to the marginal costing. Starting with the easiest of all of these questions, which is November 2019 question 1 part D. Again, question 1 represents, it's a compulsory question and 5 marks question. It is not difficult based on the basics that we discussed earlier in the marginal costing concepts. Let's read through the question. Very small question. When volume is 4000 units, average cost is 3.75 per unit. When volume is 5000 units, average is 3.50 per unit. Break-even point is 6000 units. You have to calculate variable cost per unit, fixed cost and profit volume ratio. Now let us concentrate on data for two different levels of activity that will help me segregate variable cost and fixed cost. First, I am given at 4000 units, average cost per unit 3.75. Then I am given at 5000 units, it is reducing to 3.50 per unit. Now I can compute their total cost. Multiply average cost per unit with units to get total cost. 3.75 multiplied by 4000 gives me 15,000. 5000 multiplied by 3.5 gives me 17,500. Now simple, variable cost per unit equals difference in total cost divide by difference in units. This equals 17,500 minus 15,000 whole divide by 5,000 units minus 4,000 units. 2,500 divided by 1,000. This is 2.50 per unit. So variable component of cost which is wanted in first part. So this becomes part 1 answer. This is rupees 2.50 per unit. That is first part answer. Very simple. Now I reach analysis of fixed cost. It is your choice. You can analyze from 4000 units, you can analyze from 5000 units. Because it is fixed, it is bound to be same. I will do it from both of them for your understanding purpose. Sitting in exam, do any one of these. So alternative one is analyze 4000 units, total cost 15,000, variable cost 4,000 into 2.50, that is 10,000. The difference is 5,000. This is fixed cost. This is part 2 answer. Part 2 answer. Alternatively, in exam, do any one of them, but you can do any one. So I am doing it both ways. Alternatively, analyze 5,000 units. Total cost we computed was 17,500. variable cost 5000 units, 2.50 per unit, 12,500. Answer will be same. Fixed cost remains 5,000 rupees. This is again second part answer. Second part answer, fixed cost. Now I need to analyze third part. Third part wants me to calculate PV ratio. So what I do? Computation of PV ratio. You are given break-even point in units. Break-even point in units is equal to 6,000 units should be equal to fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. CUNT is contribution per unit. So from there I can get 6,000 is equal to 5,000 divided by contribution per unit. This implies contribution per unit is equal to 5,000 divided by 6,000. 5 divided by 6, it becomes 0.8333 dash 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 per unit. Did he ask me contribution? No. He wants me to calculate PV ratio, profit volume ratio. Contribution per unit is equal to selling price per unit minus variable cost per unit. Selling price per unit I am going to compute minus 2.5 per unit variable cost I have computed. So selling price per unit is equal to 2.5 plus 0.8333 dash dash dash. Selling price per unit becomes 2.5 plus 0.833333. This is 3.3333 per unit. Now what is PV ratio? Profit volume ratio is equal to contribution per unit divided by selling price per unit multiplied by 100 is equal to 0.8333 dash 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 divided by 3.3333 dash 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 into 100. So 0.83333 divided by 3.333. This becomes 25%. This is answer of third part. That is a complete starting question on marginal costing. The next question I reach is January 2021 question 1A part. It's a compulsory 5 marks question and a better question. I'll read through this, I'll explain you a concept, then the question can be easily started. It tells me sales 10 lakh, contribution to sale ratio which is PV ratio 37%, margin of safety 25% of sales. There is a decline in selling price, decline in fixed cost, and PV ratio reaches 30%, MOS becomes 40% of revised sale. So that is happening in another period. Now keep in mind, normally we say fixed cost is constant, selling price is constant, PV ratio is constant. Here none of that is constant. Fixed cost, he says, has declined. How much? I don't know. Selling price declines, which will change PV ratio. So everything is changing. Are you having any data for second period? Any amount, monetary data for second period? No. So how to calculate everything for second period? How to calculate revised data? There has to be something constant from first period to second period. Most importantly, the students are unable to think about it. Variable cost is constant here. Why constant? Because units do not change. Variable cost per unit does not change. When both are constant, variable cost total is going to be constant. From there the question will start. So I'm writing a note here which you should remember, then the question will become very, very simple. Question is very simple provided you can understand this point. So I'm writing this point here. It's an important note here. In the given case, variable cost of the first period shall remain constant as neither the sale units nor the variable cost per unit change in the second period. Fixed cost and selling price are given to have changed with unknown quantum of change. A question told me 10% decline in fixed cost. I would have started from first period, computed fixed cost there, declined by whatever percentage change he has told in second period. I will get fixed cost for second period, I can do everything. But not in this question. In this question, I have to concentrate on computing variable cost of first period, that will be same in second period, then everything else can be computed for second period. First period, sales 10 lakh, PV ratio 37%, contribution becomes 37% of 10 lakh, 3,70,000. Variable cost, sales minus contribution. Students say, sir, this is new formula, you have never told us. That is wrong. Contribution is equal to sale minus variable cost. Hence, variable cost equals sale minus contribution. Sorry. So, variable cost I am getting from basic formula of contribution. So, what I am getting? Variable cost 10 lakh minus 3,70,000, 6,30,000. Now I am starting with second period. Second period. Variable cost 6,30,000. Refer note above. I have already written in the note in detail that variable cost total amount is going to be same in second period. No change in variable cost in this question, because variable cost per unit did not change and also sale units did not change. The level of activity is same in 2 years. From there I can get revised PV ratio 30%. 30 is equal to sale minus variable cost divided by sales into 100. So what I get? Let sale be X. Easy to write then. 0.30 into X is equal to X minus VC. 0.30x is equal to X minus 6,30,000. So this becomes 6,30,000 is equal to X minus 0.30x. This becomes 0.70x is equal to 6,30,000. X equal 9 lakh. Now revised sale is 9 lakh. This is what? This is part 2 answer. Part 2 answer. Then question is wanting revised fixed cost also. Let us focus on how to compute the revised fixed cost. Sale 9 lakh gives me contribution. Contribution is 30% of 9 lakh. This is 2,70,000. 2,70,000. Now, question gives me MOS 40% of revised sales. MOS 40% of 9 lakh. 3,60,000. You know MOS, one of the formulas, profit by PV ratio. This implies 3,60,000 is equal to profit divided by revised PV ratio 30%. 3,60,000 into 30% will be profit. Hence profit 3,60,000 into 30%, 1,08,000. Now contribution minus fixed cost is profit. So contribution I computed 2,70,000 minus fixed cost is equal to 1,08,000. So fixed cost becomes 2,70,000 minus 1,08,000. This is 1,62,000. This is answer of part 1. Now without part 2 I could not do part 1. So first I did part 2. Unless I am having the revised sale, I will not be able to compute the contribution and the fixed cost. So fixed cost is part 1 answer. Now question is wanting revised break-even point in rupees. Now that is easy. Fixed cost divided by PV ratio. I am having both of them. Unless I had fixed cost, I will not be able to compute break-even point. Revised PV ratio was 30%. Now what students do in exam, 1,62,000 divided by 30, that is not correct. Divided by 0.30 because it is percent. 1,62,000 divided by 0.30. I am getting 5,40,000. This is answer part 3. That is a complete question. It's a good question. You are getting all the three, starting with assumption that total variable cost does not change. Then you can do all the working and reach this ultimate answer, 5,40,000 as revised break-even point. The next question we reach is May 2019 question 5A. Although it is question number 5, it was asked for 5 marks and it is a wonderful question for 5 marks. One part is very simple, second part requires lots of technical calculation to reach the ultimate. Reading for you, Mrs. Gaurav Private Limited is manufacturing and selling 2 products, black and white at selling price 20 and 30. Sales strategy outlined, sale plan rupees 81 lakh for black, 54 lakh for white. Selling price reduced by 10% for black and 20% for white. Break-even point is planned at 70% of total sale of each product. Profit to be maintained at 8,26,200 for black, 7,45,200 for white. This is possible by reducing annual fixed cost 42 lakh allocated, 22 lakh and black and 20 lakh white. First part, which is comparatively simpler, it is asking you to calculate number of units to be sold for black and white to break even. Second part, how much fixed cost should be reduced for each product as mentioned in point 4 above. Let us concentrate first part. You are given, this is part 1. Sales revenue for black and white, rupees 81 lakh and rupees 54 lakh. What you are given? Selling price after reduction. This is 20 to be reduced by 10% becomes 18 and 30 to be reduced by 20% becomes 24. I can call it revised selling price or selling price after reduction. Now I can compute here units to be sold. Sale units, 81 lakh divide by 18, 4,50,000 and 54 lakh divide by 24. I am getting 2,25,000. Break-even point units at 70%. From actual sales, 70% is break-even. So, I will compute 70%. Simple. 157,500 and 4,50,000 into 75%, 3,37,500. That is answer of this part. Question is wanting units only, so I don't need to compute break-even point in rupees. Although I can compute that also for my next working, that I will do later on. But at the moment, this much is answer. He is wanting break-even point in units. Now I reach part 2. Part 2. Now he is saying we want to maintain specific profit. I'll write all that data. For black, for white. Profit which is desired to be maintained. You are already earning this, After reducing selling price, they will still want to maintain this by reducing the fixed cost. Profit which is given there 826,200 and 745,200. They want to maintain this much of profit. I call it A. B point. Break-even sale. I have computed that already. This was 4,50,000 into 70%. I think I computed wrongly earlier. You can correct that. 3,15,000 in units and 157,500. This is break-even point in units. Now C point, actual sale. $4,50,000, 2,25,000. D point, MOS in units. C minus B. Actual sale minus break-even sale will give you margin of safety in units. 4,50,000 minus 3,15,000. 1,35,000. 2,25,000 minus 157,500. 67,500. There are many ways of computing. You could have done 30% of actual sales. That is your margin of safety, because 70% is break even, 30% is margin of safety. E point. Now, what I can do further, I can compute, apply the formula of MOS. If I write there MOS in units, one of the formula is profit divided by contribution per unit. Concentrate on basic formulas. If you recall them, you will be able to apply them. From there I can compute contribution per unit is equal to profit divided by MOS in units. This I can write as A divided by D. A divided by D. So contribution per unit I will be able to compute from there. Profit divided by MOS in units. 826,200 divided by 1,35,000. 745,200 divided by 67,500. So I get per unit figures there. 826,200 divided by 1,35,000. 6.12 per unit and 11.04 per unit. This much is contribution. F point, I can get total contribution. If I multiply this with units, this is what I can say, E into C. Contribution per unit multiplied by actual sale units. 4,50,000 multiplied by 6.12. What I am getting is 27,54,000. 11.04 multiplied by actual sale 2,25,000. 24,84,000. Contribution minus fixed cost is profit. So contribution minus profit can be fixed cost. Fixed cost contribution minus profit. Profit I wrote as A, I think. Yes, A. F minus A. 2484 minus 745200. For second product, it is 173,8800. For first product, 2754,000 minus 826,200. I'm getting is 19,27,800. What was earlier fixed cost? E, F, G, H. Earlier fixed cost given in point number 4, 22 lakh and 20 lakh. Reduction in fixed cost H minus G. 2,72,200 and 20 lakh minus 173,8800. 261,200. Total reduction 533,400. Now this is answer part 2. Product wise and total. That are the answers of part 2. Now part 2 is not very easy. There may be alternative ways of doing, but they are equally tough. Do it step by step, revise it 1-2 times, then the question will become very easy for you. Must revise question for the exam purpose. The next question I reach is January 2021 question 3A. It was given for 10 marks, but it is containing a new concept. If you understand the concept, the question is very easy. Without the concept, the question is impossible. So I'm writing there and explaining that concept to you. This is concept of merger in marginal costing. This is a standard question of merger where you are given two different plants operating at different levels of activity and they are planned to be merged. All the data is given related to the individual plants and all the marginal costing variables are asked for the merged plant. No data is given for the merged plant. And there is no synergy concept here. Synergy means getting some benefit out of merger. 1 plus 1 is more than 1 is called synergy effect. It's good that that is not applicable. Now, whenever merger situation is given, any number of plants, 2 plants, 3 plants, 4 plants, what do you need to do? Get their flexible budget at 100% level of activity and then add. The added data will represent 100% level of activity for the merged plant. Once you get that data, you can compute their break-even point, PV ratio, whatever is asked there. Then you can analyze the merged data. That is a key thing. I am writing that concept here before doing this question. So you can write along with me. Whenever there is merger of 2 or more plants operating at different levels of activity, we should apply the following steps to get basic data of the merged plant. Step 1. Make flexible budget type income statement of all individual plants at 100% level of activity. How to do that? Whatever is sale, let us say my sale is 7 lakh at 70% level of activity. At 100% it will be 100 by 70 of 7 lakh, that is 10 lakh. My variable cost was 3,50,000 at 70%. At 100% it will become 3,50,000 into 100 by 70. Fixed cost was 1 lakh, will remain 1 lakh, will not change as a result of flexible budget. So fixed cost same, variable cost proportionately reach 100%, sale proportionately reach 100%. You will get the data. If there is semi-variable cost, you need to get either trend or bifurcation into fixed component, variable component, and then make the similar analysis. Step 2. Add all basic data of individual plants at 100% level to get 100% level data of merged plant, assuming no synergy effects. Assuming no synergy effects. Step 3. From that basic data of merged plant, compute the basic variables like PV ratio, break-even point, etc., etc., and do the desired analysis. Whatever analysis question is wanting you to make, you can get from there once you have got the basic data. Let us apply these 3 steps on the given question, January 2021, question 3A. In the question, you are given 2 plants A and B. So what I am doing, a big table with 5 columns I am making. 3 columns are as from question. Next 3 columns, 100% of A, 100% of B and merged plant. The total step 2 also I will do in the table itself. A, B, capacity percentage 90%, 60%. A at 100%, B at 100%. This is total, that is for merged plant. Merged I am making only at 100%. Total will include column number 4 and 5 total only. 2 and 3 will not be added there because 4 and 5 are 100% level of these figures only. sales 63 lakh, 48 lakh. How much I get there? 63 lakh into 100 by 90. 48 lakh into 100 by 60. So I compute what I get there. 63 lakh into 100 by 90 is 70 lakh. 48 lakh into 100 by 60 is 80 lakh. And what I get here? 1 crore 50 lakh. This green color data is what I need ultimately. These are all workings. Last column is most important for later research. Then I get variable cost. Variable cost 39 lakh 60,000, 22 lakh 50,000. Now what I am getting there? 3960 into 100 by 90. 44 lakh. 22 lakh 50,000. 100 by 60. What I am getting there? 37 lakh 50,000. $37 lakh 50,000. Add them. Once you add them, 44 lakh and 37 lakh 50,000. 81 lakh 50,000. 81 lakh 50,000. What I'll do, I'll compute contribution also here. Will be needed later on. I'll compute for total column only. Others you can compute if you want. It's not needed. 150 lakh minus 81 lakh 50,000. $68 lakh 50,000. Fixed cost 13 lakh, 15 lakh, no change here, 13 lakh, 15 lakh, this is 28 lakh. No change in fixed cost remains constant. What I am getting there is profit. I need for total column only. 6850 minus 28 lakh. 40 lakh 50,000. Now having got this data at 100% level, now I focus only on this column. This column is most important for my analysis. Now check out what he wants. Part 1. Break-even sales of merged plant. Break-even sales in units you cannot compute, in rupees only we will be able to compute. Fixed cost divide by PV ratio. So first I compute PV ratio. PV ratio of merged plant is equal to contribution 68 lakh 50,000 divide by sales 150 lakhs into 100. 68 lakh 50,000 divided by 150 lakh. I am getting is 45.6666%. No, I like to take it till the end. What institute does, in some questions they approximate, in some questions they don't approximate. I don't like the approximation. I'll keep it in memory for use later. So break-even sale in rupees 28 lakh divided by 0.456666 till the end. 28 lakh. Now sometimes my answer is different due to this not approximating the answers, which is perfection, I will say. 6131386.86. 6131386.86. Capacity utilization at break-even point. 6131386.86 divide by 150 lakh into 100. This is 40.88% approximately. Because this is the ultimate answer, I can write it in approximation terms. When something is used further, for example, PV ratio is used further to compute break-even point, I don't like to approximate it. But here it is ultimate answer. This is also answer. This is also answer. Part 1 is done. Part 2. Profitability of merged plant at 80% capacity. I need to make income statement at 80% level. Sales 1,50,000 into 80%. 120 lakh minus variable cost. Minus variable cost. Variable cost we had 1,50,000 into 80%. This is 65,20,000. This is 54,80,000. No, it is correct. 26,80,000. But this is not complete. He is wanting profitability, not profit. So profit divided by sale into 100, 26,80,000 divided by 120 lakhs, that is profitability. $26,80,000 divided by 120 lakh into 100. 22.33% approximately. Now many authors, they don't compute profitability, they compute profit. The institute people, they are going to reduce some marks for that. So make it sure you are computing profitability whenever it is wanted. Third part is very simple. Compute sale to earn desired fixed profit 60 lakh. Desired fixed profit 60 lakh. Formula is there. Fixed cost plus desired fixed profit divided by PV ratio. 28 lakh, 60 lakh divide by 45.6666%. Once you calculate there, 1,92,70,073 approximately. This much is what you will get. Now fourth part is very important again. Different and important, fourth part. It says when merged plant is working at capacity to earn profit of 60 lakh, means when it is selling 1,92,70,073, then What percentage increase in selling price is required to sustain increase of 5% in fixed cost? When selling price is going to change, PV ratio will also change. PV ratio will not be constant. So older PV ratio cannot be used. It is similar to one other question that we have done. When selling price changes, unit remain constant, variable cost is same. Variable cost is same, profit desired is same, fixed cost increases, whatever fixed cost increases should be sale increase. So here important point to note, when selling price changes, PV ratio will also change. Total variable cost will remain same. Profit desired will also be same. Hence, increase in fixed cost must be increase in sales revenue. Percentage increase equals 5% of 28 lakh divide by original sale 192,700,73 multiplied by 100. Whatever is increase in sales revenue is increase in selling price also, because units of sale are same. So very importantly, I need to find increase in fixed cost, which is 5% of 28 lakh, divide by original sale 192,700,73 multiplied by 100. That will give me percentage increase. 1,40,000, 1,92,70,073 into 100. Once you find it is 0.726% approximately. This is the ultimate answer. The question has very good starting points, how to deal with merger, and very good fourth point, how to deal with percentage change. If we had increased sale units and not selling price, then variable cost is not same. Then I need to compute using constant PV ratio. Answer will certainly be different in that case. So you have to apply your mind while doing questions like this. Very good question which was asked in January 2021, question 3A. Going through another important concept in marginal costing. This is called concept of key factor in marginal costing. We talked of key factor a little bit while discussing the functional budgets. There can be some constraint in making the maximum production and maximum sale. Now, whenever there is key factor in the category of resources, supply side key factor or resource key factor. I can sell 1 lakh units, but every unit wants 2 kg of material. I need 2 lakh kg of input. Availability in market maximum is 1,50,000. So I have to reduce my production at 75,000. I'll be able to sell only 75,000. That is called resource key factor. Resource key factor can be lesser availability of material, labor hours, machine hours, power, any other resource. There is limitation of any resource. What we are going to study here, the basics only, it is multiple products and single key factor from resource key factors. One of the input is available in limited form and I am producing multiple products, then which product should I make, which product should I not make? That is the decision making you are doing in this concept today. I'll dictate you some steps that you can easily apply and get the things. So apply the steps. Following steps can be applied. Step 1. Calculate the quantity of resource key factor available for the planning period. Whatever period you are going to plan for, you have to check what is the quantity of that resource key factor available. If it is labor hours, what are total labor hours available in that particular department? If it is machine hours, how many total machine hours will be available? If it is raw material, how much kg or unit of raw material that will be available? Step 2. Calculate contribution per unit of key factor for each of the products. As I have already said, there are multiple products. For every product, you are required to calculate contribution per unit of key factor. For example, if kgs are limited, contribution per kg for each product. Labor hours are limited, contribution per labor hour. Machine hours are limited, contribution per machine hour. How to compute? Simply compute contribution per unit, then labor hours per unit, divide by that. Contribution per unit divided by labor hours per unit. You will get contribution per labor hour. Similarly, contribution per unit divided by kg is required per unit. You will get contribution per kg. So whatever is resource key factor, accordingly calculate contribution per unit of key factor. For example, if labor hours of our department X are key factor, then compute contribution per labor hour of department X. If it is for department Y, then compute for department Y. Step 3. Rank products from high to low as per contribution per unit of key factor computed in step 2. Higher contribution per labor hour, rank 1. Lower, next rank. More lower, next rank, and so on. Rank them. Step 4. make allocation of available key resource, allocation of available key resource as per ranking in step 3 after considering marketing or demand side constraints. This will give optimal product mix. This will give optimal product mix. Calculate optimal contribution or optimal profit as desired based on step 4 allocations. Consider marketing constraints, minimum sale, maximum sale in step 4. Make allocation of resources, whatever labor hours are available, allocate as per ranking of step 3 that you have done. So if you follow all of this in a logical manner, in a sequential manner, you will never get wrong any question of key factor. So follow it carefully in the question to follow. Next we reach November 2020, question 1B. It is a question on marginal costing which considers key factor concept. Very good question, but still a basic question. If you follow the steps that I have taught you on key factor, the question will be very simple. I read it for you. Moon Limited produces products X, Y and Z and has decided to analyze its production of 3 products X, Y and Z. Your following information, material cost, labor cost, variable overheads, all are given there. Department A and B, both labor cost is given there. Annual production at present 10,000, 12,000, 20,000. Selling price is also given. Sale department estimate possible sale in coming year. You can see earlier X 10,000, now you can sell 12,000. You can increase your sale. Y 12,000 can sell 16,000. Z you are selling 20,000, you can sell 24,000. So sale can increase for each of the 3 products. There is constraint on supply of labor in department A and manpower cannot be increased beyond its present level. Whatever labor hours are available in department A cannot be increased for department B. There is no such constraint. Department B, any number of labor hours can be employed. Material, no constraint. Labor in department B, no constraint. No machine hours there. So we are focusing on department A labor hours. You can see conditions are fulfilled. Single key factor, labor hours in department A and multiple products XYZ, which to be produced more, which to be produced less or kept same, that is to be decided by us. So it calls for the steps that I have dictated you. Step 1. Key factor concepts. Now instead of writing step number, what I am going to write is working note number 1. Calculate the availability of key factor, that is labor hours in department A in next year. As question clearly said, whatever was being produced last year, the labor hours are available till that extent only. So we are having, for product X, we are having 10,000 multiplied by hours per unit 6, 60,000 hours. For Y, 12,000 multiplied by 10. $12,000 multiplied by 10, 1,20,000 hours. For Z, 20,000 multiplied by 5, 1 lakh hours. So total hours I calculate, I had availability of 2,80,000 hours. Total available was 2,80,000 hours. Working note 2. Computation of contribution per labor hour of department X. It's department A, sorry. What I will do for each product X, Y, Z. First I compute contribution per unit divided by hours per unit. I will be able to get the contribution per labor hour in department A. Starts with selling price per unit. Selling price per unit. It is given 312, 400, 240. First variable cost is material cost. 160, 120, 80 given directly. Then labor cost, department A, department B. Now department A, 6 hours 4 per hour 24, 10 hours 4 per hour 40, 5 hours 4 per hour 20. Department B, 6 hours 8 per hour 48, 15 hours 8 per hour 120, 11 hours 8 per hour 88. Then I am having his variable overheads. 8, 20, 12. They are all directly given. Only labor cost I have computed carefully. Everything else is directly given. Total variable cost per unit. This is 240, 300, 200. This is A, this is B. Contribution per unit A minus B. 72, 100, 40. Now this much was easy, but ranking is not on this basis. Okay, I want to compute contribution per hour of department A. Divide by hours per unit of department A. Now concentrate there. My focus is on department A, nothing else, because department A labor hours are my constraint. 6, 10, 5. Contribution per hour of department A. Divide 12, 10, 8. I get step 3 also here. Rank 1, rank 2, rank 3. First, I will produce and sell maximum of X. Then if any labor hours are left, then Y. Then whatever labor hours are left for Z. And the units I get there is optimal allocation, optimal production and sale. Based on that, the contribution I get is optimal contribution. Question does not give me fixed cost, so I will not be able to compute the optimal profit. Neither it is desired. In second point, he is wanting total contribution which is optimal. Having ranks, this is working note number 3. Allocation analysis can be done tabular also, but I avoid that. What I am doing is step by step. First X, then Y, then Z. Then whatever units I get is my answer of first part. Based on those units I compute total contribution. I get second part. Very easy now. Total labor hours available in department A. We computed that in first working note, 2,80,000 hours. Allocated in rank 1, product X, maximum sale. Maximum sale possible is 12,000. For 1 unit, 6 hours. 72,000 hours are gone. Don't look at past. We want to make maximum sale. There is no minimum sale requirement in this particular question. Otherwise, I would have started with minimum of whatever product. I would have made the minimum commitment, but not here. Here it is only maximum. Balance hours after sales of rank 1. 2,08,000 hours. This is rank 1 analysis. Total labor hours for rank 2 and 3 in department A. 2,08,000 is available now. Allocated in rank 2, product Y maximum sales. For Y maximum units are 16,000 multiplied by 10 hours per unit. 1,60,000. Balance hours after rank 2, 48,000. Balance hours for rank 3. Now required are much more, but we will be able to use only 48,000. Use for Z product. And make, how many units you will be able to make with that? 48,000 divide by 5. 5 hours per unit it wanted. 9600 units. Answer part 1. Optimal mix. Product X, product Y, product Z. Units 12,000, 16,000, 96. I could have sold 24,000 units of Z, but it was least profitable. That's why I am able to sell only 9600 units, because labor hours are over. I don't have more labor hours available in department A, so I'm able to sell only 9600 units. Answer part 2. Maximum total contribution from above. 12,000 multiplied by 72 from X, from Y 16,000 multiplied by 100, and 9600 multiplied by 40. I get 8,64,000, 16 lakh, 3,84,000. If you add, you get 28,48,000 rupees. This is my answer of part 2. There is an alternative also here. You could do with hours. Hours multiplied by contribution per hour and add. Your answer will be same. I can do that alternative for you. Hours I have allocated for X 72,000 multiplied by 12. For Y, hours that I allocated 1,60,000 multiplied by 10. For Z, hours left were only 48,000 multiplied by contribution per hour was 8. You can check there, it will be 8,64,000. This will be 16 lakh. This will be 3,84,000. Both are alternative ways of presenting only. The answer will be exactly same. For each product, the contribution will be same, total contribution will be same. So this is alternatively. Alternative way of computing the same answers. So this is a good question related to key factor concepts.